Hi, I'm Cameron, and I don't just read comics. Sometimes I watch them. On today's episode of Cameron Reads Comics, me and my friends Hannah and Jesse all watched the Marvel Studios and Disney Plus series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Before listening to this episode, I highly recommend you listen to Jesse and I's weekly Falcon Winter Soldier reviews as we reference them throughout this episode. We are going to go into complete spoilers for Marvel Studios' Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Cameron Reads Comics, and make sure to clobber the like and subscribe buttons, as well as leave me a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Now, here's your episode on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Alrighty, well, Hannah and Jesse, welcome to Cameron Reads Comics, Falcon Winter Soldier series review. This is actually also a very special bonus episode of Cameron Reads Comics, and not a bonus episode, but super special because this is the first time I've ever had 3 people on the podcast.
Yeah. I was like, dude, don't just skip over that. There's 3 of us this time. Come on, man.
There's actually 4 of us. Big shout out to Stella Girl here.
We're making history.
You know,
she's a dog, by the way.
The second dog on the podcast.
Clarification.
Yeah, just so we're clear. Everyone's like, Stella's really quiet. I don't get it.
Why'd you have her on?
She's Stella the super pup, not to be confused with Waffles the super dog. So that's the biggest difference.
She did just hit my mic stand. That might happen.
That might happen. So.
It's either her or Cameron. I mean, one way or the other.
I'm gonna say it's either her or me that has a tail. Not gonna let the guess. I'm gonna let the guess or the listeners guess which one that is. Anyways, so we watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier this week.
But this isn't an episode review. This is a series review. But we have to talk about the episode first.
Everything that I thought we were,
we're gonna do both, and because the way for the fans that are listening right now, I'm like, Jesse and I also did 5 weeks of episodic reviews, and so if you want to kind of get our general consensus on the series, go check that out, because I don't think we're going to be able to go over the entire series without, between you and I, sounding redundant.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk.
We'll try not to double up on shit we already touched on, though.
That's why I'm here.
And that's why Hannah's here. So actually, before we go...
I forgot she was here.
Hi, Hannah. Stella's here, too. Woof, woof.
Hi, Stella.
Okay, so actually, before we even go in, I have a question for Hannah, just to get the temperature of her for the entire pod, or for the series. How did you feel? Like okay, so Jesse and I's probably standard ranking for the entire series is probably like 4.5 thus far out of 5, because we're doing episodically, and that's just the sample size. How did you feel about the first 5 episodes? Were you in love with it? Was there some that fell more flat than others? How'd you feel?
Every single ranking you guys gave, I agreed with.
Well, we gave different rankings at times.
And she's saying that everyone that we gave, she agrees with.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, she thought we were...
I thought every time you guys gave... nobody went lower than a 4, I think, right?
She was like, you guys are great reviewers.
Like, it was spot on. The only thing that I think is the one that was a little slower, was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, where there was...
It was last week.
They were like working on the boat and stuff.
It was last
then
week.
somebody... I thought maybe one of you guys gave it a 4.
Jesse gave it a 4.
And you gave it a 5 still?
I did.
I think I still would have put that one close to a 5.
Hell yeah.
Maybe 4.5.
But
I honestly, I loved every single episode.
Yeah, it's
like they were all almost 5s in my mind, but
except for episode 6.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question.
Was that the finale? Mm-hmm. Was that 6? You hated it?
I didn't hate it.
We're gonna talk about it.
Sorry.
There's still time to get there. So okay, I want to get.
We just do the review and we're like, see you guys later.
You're like, okay,
bye.
This
has been fun.
Episode 6 is out of 5. I'm like, okay. Okay, so I'm glad we got that information ahead. I was thinking that we're gonna go, and I sent you guys the questions beforehand, but there's obviously off the cuff questions that always kind of happen in this sort of thing. So I guess, how do we feel about episode 6, and then we'll go into series wide. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So how do we feel about episode 6? Jesse, you go first.
I thought it started great. there's a lot of action for like 30 minutes, and then it just fucking brakes are on. It just flopped. The whole end flopped. It was.
You think the end flopped?
Total
Wow.
fucking flop. Bucky stood around, did nothing. There was 2 huge problems, and I want to see if you guys can guess what they are. There was huge problem.
Like towards the end of the episode.
Yes, and it was involving Sam. Like, what, bro? Are you kidding me?
When the helicopter crashes on him and he's able to hold the shield.
No, that was tight as fuck, dude.
I was like, literally, I would just get smushed. He doesn't.
That
have
was
a super
so
soldier
cool.
suit.
That was so cool. I don't care.
Okay.
We're not those holes.
Okay, I was like, that's the
You
one.
want to take a stab at
You're
it?
talking plot holes.
It was just something that seemed so stupid. It's just like, are you really doing that?
Okay, Carly's death.
Well, who knows if she's dead? He put her on a fucking gurney.
Okay, I wrote that down to ask you guys: is she actually dead? Because they took her away as if she was alive.
Right, that's true. But let's back up a couple steps. Why would Sam pick her up and take her to the gurney? It's fucking Carly. He doesn't give a shit. Sharon just got shot, bro. Why are you picking up Carly?
Because
Sharon's got to be in hiding still. He couldn't have made that a big deal.
And also, Sharon wasn't dead from the shot.
Okay, if she was in hiding, she showed up 10 seconds later, standing against the car, in front of all the people. It was super, super
sloppy.
Spoiler alert for Star Wars. Princess Leia, right? Walking right past Chewbacca after Han died. It's his best friend. You're gonna go comfort Rey?
What?
Okay. I see what he's doing, and I had similar thoughts, but I don't think I had that much passion towards it. Towards my disdain for it wasn't like that.
Sam's friend just got shot. She just got shot. He didn't even pay her any attention, dude.
She wasn't even Sam's friend.
Sharon?
Yeah, she was. No, she wasn't. I don't know where you guys are getting. He literally. How many times has Sam interacted with her, one-on-one? 0.
Well, but in Civil War, they have a whole thing together, and then when
they don't have a whole
and
thing
then he
together.
makes a promise to her to get her a pardon.
Yeah, and he called in 10 favors, and I think she actually called him her friend.
She was only there because he called her and asked her to be there.
Yeah, you're tripping, dude.
She got shot because Sam was like, "Hey,
what
come
is Carly
help
to
me."
him?
Carly is someone he can save, and he was able to go do that. The biggest.
Okay,
if he had saved Sharon instead of Carly, there's no way he could have been able to speak to the senators like he could have. It was a plot device. Maybe you don't agree with the catalyst to the plot device.
It was weak.
But
I mean, Carly's dead though.
Yeah, she's dead. Then why carry her out? Leave her there. It's a crime scene.
Maybe it was supposed to be like a dramatic effect.
It was lame.
Like, look at this teenage girl's dead body in my arms and what she stands for, because that was the whole point of his speech was
oh, it's just like Sharon's laying there with her tummy shot out and her
but
intestines
also,
are poking out, and you just didn't even acknowledge it.
But also, if we're talking plot holes, that bitch should have been in way more pain. It looked like she barely got grazed
Sharon?
with a bullet by the way that they react, and she got shot right straight up in the stomach,
but,
and she was chilling.
That's the biggest difference is that Sharon could walk herself out. Karen. Well, honestly, that's not a wrong move right now. Power Broker's definitely mad Karen energy.
Even if you and I are just acquaintances,
yeah,
and there's somebody that you've been fighting that you might agree with or whatever, you still don't. You're just like, well, that bitch just fought me. She's dead. Oh, Sharon, let me help you out.
They've had about as many mutual interactions because I'm like,
no, I don't.
Pre-Civil War, even in Civil War, Sam and Sharon aren't tight. Literally, they don't have scenes together, and so in this series, if we're gonna go that way, they have several moments. Obviously, she helps them out in Madripoor. They go to the party. We get the fist bump scene that we like. Past that, I don't recall much of.
It doesn't matter. He picked up the dead girl over someone he knew. It doesn't matter.
I think his dead girl pickup is way more consistent with who he is as a freaking veteran and someone who is helping people with. I'm sorry, what's the PTSD? As someone who's trying to help that person, it doesn't. It's more core to who Sam is. I'm like, it makes sense, but I don't think. I guess I'm very shocked at how upset you are by this.
It was, dude. If she's dead, leave her there. Your friend's over there bleeding out. Like, what is? I don't understand why you can't
Except
see
she
that.
wasn't really bleeding out, and she really should have been.
Yeah. So.
Just saying.
I'm like,
So that there's multiple things that were wrong with that scene.
okay, so there's one.
And also,
Plus the whole
what
that
did-
entire scene.
did Carly betray Sharon because she stole the super serum?
Carly betrayed Sharon.
Is that what she was referring to when she said you betrayed me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to clear, want to be sure.
Yeah, I'm like really excited to see how that relationship pans out. But we need to move on because it's almost been 10 minutes and we've only talked about.
Oh my god.
We've only talked about one of Jesse's plot holes. So okay, number 2, baby.
The whole Bucky apologizing to the Asian guy. It was so weak. He was like, "I'm sorry, man. I killed your son," and he was like, "Oh, why?" Done.
What did you want from him more than that?
I didn't even need that. That was like. That there
I
was
had
the
no
old guy didn't even
problems with
say
that.
anything.
I liked that.
That needed to
He
happen.
was just like, "Well, you killed him." He's like, "Yeah."
and then he
I
got
did it.
Then he got like
I had
sake
to.
bombs afterwards.
Ugh, it was, and then Bucky was standing there looking at him like, "Oh, happy times, happy times. I'm glad I killed your son." It was stupid.
Oh, I don't think it's stupid. I think it was like number 1, incredibly necessary. Literally a plot device set up in episode 1.
It was weak.
Whether or not you agree with the delivery, I don't think it was weak.
It was super weak.
It was necessary, and also I'm like I'm also glad they didn't just like go super gnarly hardcore sad mode with that. It was kind of a good little beep beep beep. Like, okay, well then did you hate the scene with Isaiah then?
No, that was the best scene.
Oh,
that was the second best scene
beautiful.
because the best scene was Sam's speech.
Yeah.
I'm so shocked that you're so about Sam's speech, but you're not about
Carly?
yeah.
Dude, it was lame.
I mean, okay.
Sam's speech was perfect.
Yeah,
Agree
the
to
speech was
disagree.
great.
Okay, well then let's get into that. I'm like, I feel like we just kind of shit on the episode for a minute there.
You're welcome.
And it wasn't a bad.
I have nice things to say about the episode.
Someone here doesn't.
It was a huge step down from the previous episodes, and it was a whole. It was
step
like
down, wow.
it was like it was action, and then it just it like stopped. It just everything stopped.
Do you
And Sam and Carly's fight was stupid, and Bucky should have killed more people.
do you think
Yes,
that
I agree. Bucky was weak in this episode, and he's not weak, and he shouldn't have been so weak.
I think that it just showed character growth that he didn't kill people. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, actually before any of that, like I think before Sam's speech, one of the most important parts if you had a plot hole, here's my number 1 plot hole. John Walker.
Yeah.
He comes back and he starts helping them fight for not the sake of like their justice, but for Carly's justice. How did we feel about John Walker's return and then like him coming back, but also them just being like, okay, you're here now. We're fighting with you, even though we don't think you're very responsible and you got a new shield, you know?
And why aren't you wearing that sling anymore?
Oh, yeah, literally.
Like, you're a super soldier. Like, we broke your arm, but probably healed in like 10 minutes. The fact that he had the sling on at all
I
was
liked
funny.
how they. Okay, actually, I do have some issues with John Walker's storyline because he has like a little flip there where he has to decide if he's gonna like save all those people or if he's gonna kill
Yeah.
Carly.
and he goes and saves the people instead.
Yeah.
And you're like, sick. He's great. Like he had a little. He's like a good person. But then he kind of stood around and did nothing. A lot of standing around with Bucky. Those two standing around a lot together afterwards, which is fine. I didn't really need that much from John Walker. But then, like, is this going to... Am I jumping too far ahead if I jump to the scene
No,
where he's the U.S.
jump
agent?
around.
Like,
We
full
love doing
on
that.
U.S. agent?
I asked about
he's,
John Walker.
So he's bad again?
No.
But isn't Val bad?
No one's showed that.
No, Val's not bad yet.
But you guys told me she's bad.
She's going to become bad. Like, it's like, is Mordo and Doctor Strange bad? He wasn't bad
No,
yet.
but the way she's saying, like, they're not going to need a Captain America. Like, you're going to be U.S. agent. There'll be no need for Captain America. That felt very, like, villain to me.
She said things are going to get weird, which I'm like, what does that mean? That's what she said.
It felt villainous to me.
It's menacing, but I don't think it's quite
I love her.
villainous.
I love her.
I think she is like, you know, the parts of S.H.I.E.L.D. that we don't necessarily agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
I just feel like he was up, he was down, he was up, he was down. I was just like,
I think
"Ugh."
S.H.I.E.L.D. is an organization that, like, you know, they'll take the world, like, it's the battle kind of like within Captain America 2 where S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing things that Steve doesn't agree with. And so with that, I think Jesse and I talked about it in previous episodes. Go listen to Falcon Winter Soldier episode review 1 through 5. Quick plug. I think it's setting up for Thunderbolts, and I think that she's going to get a freaking team or Dark Avengers-esque.
Yeah, I'm flip-flopping on whether it's going to be the Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts. I don't think it really matters. It's basically, it could be both. It's the same thing, maybe, kind of, right? I mean, Dark Avengers makes more sense when I was going off those, like, Abomination could be Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Agatha could be Scarlet Witch. He's going to be Captain America.
Yeah.
You could technically swipe Bullseye for Hawkeye if you wanted to, right?
If
Bullseye?
they have
Bullseye. Isn't he a Daredevil?
Yeah, but Daredevil's not canon. In this
well,
show
you can
yet.
make it canon.
We want. That's what I want more than anything.
You can make it canon real easy, right?
That's what I want. Okay, so
you could have Loki as Thor, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
or even just like there's others that are great. Kate Bishop is Hawkeye. That's what I'm saying. But
no, that's Young Avengers.
I know, but she's cool. We're just talking about new characters. So wait, do we think that arc was consistent with John Walker? Do you think that it? I guess, is he a villain?
No.
I don't think so either, Hannah.
I don't think he's yet.
I don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to be either.
Because
I think you saw him as bad as you're going to get him when he was kind of fighting with him and he was losing his shit.
I think he's off, and that's what makes him a threat.
I like that they still showed that in his fight scenes with Carly as well. He kept shaking his head like, you know, like he was clearly like struggling with his decisions that he was trying to make.
Yeah, I think he's struggling and he wants to reconcile. Like, because he also I think Lamar Hoskins #RIP. He, like, that shadow hangs heavy over his shoulder, and so he wants to honor Lamar, but he also doesn't want to go too far. And I just think that it's going to set up for Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, whatever it is, whatever title they go by, and it's going to go like they're going to do covert stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why it doesn't matter if he's Captain America, because he doesn't need to be broadcast. It's going to be like underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
He got all quiet.
I agree with you.
There's not a lot of impassioned answers for those questions.
But, I mean, what do you want me to... I'm not going to argue with you. I think you're right.
I'm like, argue. No. Okay, wait. Then next question, and I think this is actually why we didn't spend as much time with was it Winter Soldier and John Walker? How do we feel about the Falcon Cap Suit? I think they just wanted to give us some time, like, with Falcon being, or I guess he's not Falcon anymore, just Sam being the new Cap. How did we like those scenes in this episode?
And that outfit?
Yeah, specifically.
How'd
you like the outfit?
It was awesome.
I was not a fan of it.
Other than his ears look funny.
Yeah, okay.
They cut out ear holes for sure.
I wasn't going to bring that part up because I feel like the rest of the suit looked pretty sick, except for the weird...
It's the whole head thing. Even
ear, neck
even the goggles. Yeah, even the goggles.
It was fine.
It was fine.
But like the wings
coverage.
and like everything else was sick.
And like, you know what I think about? You know what makes it so that a helicopter can hit those? The wings are probably vibranium too, if Wakanda made them.
Yeah, the wings and the shield are all vibranium.
Yeah,
and I'm
shield
wondering if
definitely.
like little Red Wing guy's now vibranium too, because that would make him better. He can't get crushed by Carly.
Little Red Wing.
I'm like, I love Red Wing, but we like it.
I thought you hated Red Wing, just like everybody else.
No, you guys all hate Red Wing.
No, I love Red Wing.
I don't have any problem
He's
with
my
Red
pal.
Wing.
I like the arc of everyone hating. I mean, I'm sorry. I meant everyone in the series. I like the arc of everyone hating Red Wing. Like when in Civil War, when he's like say thank you to Red Wing, and then Scarlett Johansson's like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, he's not real.
And then Bucky hating him at the beginning of the show. How did we feel about the arc between Bucky and Sam and like their growth throughout the series?
I feel like that's why Bucky did so much like standing around in that episode, was to really like let them show that he was letting Sam have the spotlight of being Captain America and of being the guy who like saved the day. So I do think that like him chilling was like for a purpose.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted more of him fighting, because I like watching Bucky fight. But I think that it was like it served a good purpose.
I think Bucky's kind of arc really was concluded in last week's episode.
Do you think he's done?
No.
Oh.
No. I just think he's...
What you mean? You mean done?
Well, because we had talked the other day about how Bucky's he's like the second longest lasting MCU character, right?
Yeah,
and so we were are they gonna phase him out? Like, is he gonna start being like? And then it was wrapped up in a tight little bow this episode. I mean, so I was like, I don't know, what if he's like?
Wait, how? Because he crossed everybody off his list?
Yeah.
No,
that's just his personal shit.
But you know what I realized is
like he's just gonna go on vacation? Like, see you guys later, I'm done now.
I don't know, maybe
that would not
could.
be. That's not gonna happen.
I know.
With Bucky, I just think that, him holding the gun to Zemo was kind of the end of his arc. And then he reconciled at the very end with this one, all the interpersonal stuff. But, like, coming to terms with who he is and what he's done, I think they accomplished that by episode 5 in this series. And that's why he, like, didn't have much to do. And they already fought John, so they didn't quite need to fight him again or whatever. So, okay. How did we feel about Sharon Carter's descent into becoming the power broker?
Was it a descent?
Yes. She was good. She was always good.
Was she?
In Captain America Winter Soldier, yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe she wasn't already.
No, she becomes the power broker after she gets screwed.
Yeah, I'm like, it's post Civil War where she becomes... are we a fan of that? Like, and they've already announced that Cap 4 is going to happen. How do we think that's going to play into it?
I feel like you're not a fan of it.
I don't know.
About her being the power broker?
Yeah. Also, how proud are we that we called that? Again, go listen to Falcon Winter Soldier 1 through 5.
Yeah, but, I mean, come on. That was kind of obvious. It was so obvious.
Not at the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not... Like, what... Okay. No, I don't know, man. Was she trying to kill him? Was she trying to kill Falcon the whole time? Or was she just tying up her loose ends? Like, she sent Batroc to go do his stuff so he would come back and try to double cross her so she could shoot him because he knew that she was the power broker. Like, she killed everybody that knew who she was.
I think that her goal was to...
It's true.
Covering her tracks.
Yeah, I think her goal is really, like, as the power broker, is to acquire things and then, like, sell that intel. Like, sell that information. Because, I think that was the number one thing that we kind of realized. That's why she sent Batroc to go... At the very beginning of the movie, she sent him, and then we had, like... she's trying to acquire the super soldier serum with them from the new scientist guy again. And then she went into, whatever. Then when she got her job back, when, post-credit scene, she's like, okay, well, now I have access to all the government secrets and we're going to monetize and sell these. I'm like, I think that was her main goal. So I don't know if people dying were the stakes of that happening, like, so be it. I don't know.
Do you like her as the power broker?
No.
No, you hate it.
No,
Is there ever a turn like that in the books from her?
I haven't read books that... I think so, actually. I think at the beginning of Mark Waid's Captain America run, she's bad, and then Cap rescues her. And then they, like, are in love. But, I don't know, she's usually just, I don't think this is going to happen, but I just want her to be a double agent.
I was going to say she could just be a double agent. We don't know what side she's going to be playing, but...
But, like, she's not a double agent when the government is against her. You know what I mean?
No, but now she's
I'm saying now. I'm saying now she's a double agent.
Because she's back. They gave her job back, her government position back, but she's a double agent.
What?
A double U.S. agent? It's a pun. Well, yeah, but it's like...
What is that?
How do you not see that she's a double agent? They gave her a job back, but she's still the power broker.
She's automatically a double agent as of right now. It's just which side.
Yeah, exactly.
Which side is she playing?
That's where my confusion is coming from, is what kind of double agent are you saying?
Oh, my God.
Look at that dog. She just wants to sit up on your lap.
Stella wants to sit on her lap, and she is really concerned as well about the fate of Sharon Carter. It's all right, Stella.
She's clingy today.
She wants the attention. Much like Isaiah Bradley. We kind of tapped into Isaiah Bradley's journey. How do we feel about Sam's reconciliation between Isaiah and, I guess, Captain America? And do you think that his response to the speech was... do you think his speech was broadcast for Isaiah? Because that's what I was thinking.
How do you mean was it broadcast for Isaiah?
Like when Sam's saying what he needs to say, I think he realized he needed to,
he's speaking directly to Isaiah?
No, I think he's speaking to America, but also
as Isaiah Bradley,
with the legacy of Isaiah Bradley in mind. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when Sam's talking to the guys, he's like, don't act like obviously his interactions with Isaiah had changed him, it developed him more as a character, but I think him taking the mantle of Captain America was like him recognizing that it's not enough for just a black man to be Captain America. We need to take it further, and like I need to fight on behalf of someone like Carly so we can seek reconciliation and understanding. And so I felt like when he's talking to them, he was talking on behalf of someone like Isaiah or someone like Carly who couldn't have that conversation with them. I'm asking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
he straight
Yeah.
up said that. Like that was part of his speech.
So then, how do we feel about the speech? Because honestly, that was the one thing in the episode where I was like, man, this is getting a little preachy.
No, totally
Okay.
not.
Tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, frankly. That's
I rewatched that scene twice because the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know that I absorbed everything that he had said. And then I went back last night and I was rewatching it and I was like, every single line was perfect. Perfect. Every point he made.
Jesse's looking at me so outraged right now.
I'm not outraged. I'm just confused. You thought it was like, I mean, it did go on for a little bit.
That's
like,
why
I
I
had to
could've-
rewatch it.
It could have been cut a little bit shorter. It did take up a good like 5-minute chunk.
Yeah, I'm like, is the fight
But-
over?
And
he
while I
talks-
like that scene,
Yeah.
again, a reason why the episode came to a halt, like because of a 5-minute speech by Sam.
Yeah. Do you think that
That was a turning point for you that it went downhill?
No, it was already before that.
Oh.
do you think the speech was necessary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you? How so and how and why? Because I'm like I'm still deciding whether or not I think it was completely necessary.
I mean, you need to show, Sam has to explain how he's feeling so he can kind of justify why he became Captain America in the first place. So whether he's talking to Isaiah Bradley or not explaining himself, but it just made sense for him to, to have to give that speech. And, it was like just so much of what's going on in the world, right? Like,
Yeah, I felt like if he had, especially because there was so many conversations with Isaiah Bradley about racism and about having a black Captain America, if they didn't have anything, like any comment on that whatsoever in the finale, it would have been like just left unspoken, and I don't think that would have been beneficial. Whoa.
sorry.
It's gonna be like that.
I
Today.
don't, and I liked how he was saying like now, like we all have a common fight, and we all like because of people who got dusted and then they came back, and it didn't affect one particular group of people, and he was saying like now we all have a common fight and we all are in this situation of having to figure it out together. And then I liked the part that he said about like who's in the room with you making decisions when you're making these laws. Is it people like you, or is it people like me and people like Harley and people like the rest of us who are being affected, which to your point is very like timely.
Yeah, and it's almost like instead of being like the government's Captain America, he's now the people's Captain America. You know what I mean? He's the voice of the people instead of like the agent of the U.S.
I was like, you had to. I think that one of the biggest, and we can go into this too. I think one of the biggest things within fandom and one of the more controversial moves was to choose Sam as Cap over Bucky, because both have held the mantle, and I guess based on the source material that they're digging into, it would way more align with that for Bucky to be Cap than for Sam. I think though what they set up in this series is that it showed that Sam is the better choice for that mantle and for that identity, and especially I think it's a persona, and so I think that speech. What I realized was that speech was the number one reason why he is the best choice. Because do you think Bucky could articulate any sort of feelings that way? You know what I mean?
Eventually, but right now, Sam's the correct choice.
Yeah. Or do you think there's still room for Bucky Cap to happen?
Sure.
I'm down. And
But I mean, I'm not saying that that's gonna. You're gonna get. What's Isaiah's grandson's name?
Patriot, or it's Elijah.
Elijah. You're gonna get Elijah. For sure.
Yeah. And they set that up so perfectly, Elijah coming in, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And like even, I mean, Sam gave Isaiah the like monument, I guess you could say, in the museum, and it was kind of cheesy, but I really I liked it. But I mean, it's like kind of like it's a little cheese, but I totally liked it.
It was cheese, but there's no other way. I feel like you could have served that character,
like honored him.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he couldn't go on and say, "I'm here because of Isaiah Bradley." You know what I mean? Like the people that walk for me, a 6-minute or a 5-minute speech would become a 10-minute speech. You know what I mean? But
So you didn't like the speech?
I'm still deciding if I liked it or not. It felt, I do think it felt a little preachy, but I guess leading to my next question for for you guys is, how do we feel about the line that Marvel walked, you know what I mean, in such a tumultuous year surrounding events that I think were out of their control? How do we feel about the line they walked within this show and dealing with social issues?
I thought they did a great job.
I think so too. Like,
They didn't go too heavy on either side.
They recognize that these are issues, which I think everyone can recognize that there are issues, and I think they did that without. I don't think the speech was too preachy in that way. But like, yeah, I thought they handled them. It was such a fine line they walked, and I think they did it really well as well.
Yeah, they didn't screw it up.
Yeah, no.
They could have gone on either side of the line that they were walking in, but I thought it was great.
Yeah, and it's like, I like it. I like Sam so much. He's the best. He freaking rules, man.
I like Bucky better.
I'm like, I still don't know. I'm like, that costume, too much white. That's why. That's why I didn't
On
like
Sam,
it.
too much white?
It's too much white.
There is a lot of white.
It was just like, I'm like,
and his ears stick out of the sides.
well, literally, like,
his ears don't
Very
look
vulnerable.
His ears don't
could
look
get-
funny on his head when he doesn't have that mask on, but when he has the mask on, it's like, your ears look funny, man.
yeah, and
They're sticking out.
I don't know. I just think there's so much going on that costume, and in defense of literally all of it, that is like ripped out directly from the comic books. That's exactly pretty much how the costume looks, that the Falcon Cap Suit, and I'm just like, I don't know, there's a lot going on.
I'm making fun of the ears, but I think the whole suit's rad.
I'm like, I'm excited to see more of it.
And the wings are definitely vibranium. He kept sticking them in the ground
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was cool.
It was cool.
Did you like the Batroc the Leaper fight?
It was no.
Okay, wait, actually,
It was like they were kind of fighting, but not
Yeah.
really fighting. And then Sam took the phone call, and it was like, "What are you?" Not Sam. Bucky took the
Yeah.
phone call. I was like, "What are you doing, dummy? You just took a phone from some random ass lady."
Yeah, that
It's
was-
Carly. Oh, great! I've been waiting for her call.
that's my biggest plot hole.
That
right
was
there.
that was bad.
There
That
was a
bad.
lot. It was just like,
It's Carly. It's like, what?
He's like, oh, good, okay.
He's
and
like,
even the lady on the helicopter, he was like texting her, like, put in your
Yeah.
earbuds, like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
That was sick.
I thought that the only thing that bothered me about that scene is I was like, she just had her earbuds.
And how did
just had 'em
Sam
ready in a
know
pocket?
that
I don't
she
care
had
mine with
earbuds
me.
at all? Like,
because Red Wing.
because yeah,
And
right,
trade.
yeah, he.
All right.
Because comics, Jesse. Be cool, man.
The best fight was between John and Carly, like that little fight.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
felt
that was
good too, because it was like, it's super soldiers, but then on top of that, it was like them. It was super soldiers, but really it was also like them just being normal peeps.
So,
He's
more plot holes. If you weren't paying enough attention to the entire series, you have no idea that that's Zemo's like butler dude that blows up the car. You're just like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if
I mean,
I was like, I knew because I was paying attention, but if you're just casually watching, you're like, who's the old guy?
I
honestly,
knew, but
yeah.
Jess didn't know.
Right? See?
Yeah.
Like, who's the old guy?
I knew. But I did think at first it was. I don't know if you know Alexander Lukin, who that is. In the new modern comics, or I guess 2001, the Brubaker run, which pretty much all this is based on, Sam or the Red Skull takes on a new identity, and it's like this Russian dude named Alexander Lukin, and you kind of find out that he's under the like low key Red Skull that Cap fights in the modern age in the Winter Soldier storyline. And I was like, ooh, maybe that's Alexander Lukin, and that could be so cool. But then I was like, oh wait, no, it's Zemo's butler.
Yeah. See, it even went over your head. I like it. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like stuff like that. Like, okay. I did like that. I'm not going to call her Val because she doesn't like that. But she's like, did I do that? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I probably did.
She's quirky.
She's so great.
She's
I like her.
great.
And that's why I mean, I know that she's going to be a villain, but she'll play that same type of like, Loki, Baron Zemo villain,
Charming
where you're
villain.
like, okay, I don't hate her. And she's also going to be just like the dark version of Nick Fury.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that character, and I think that I think we are gonna see some very cool scenes between Samuel L. Jackson and her. And like, could you like, she's gonna be all like quirky like that, and I could just picture Sam Jackson just being like, "Shut the hell up!" Like,
Yeah, it'll be good. Man.
Like him just getting right to the point.
I'm glad we saw Zemo again though, because I like him.
I think we're gonna have a lot more fun with Zemo. Who do you think the villain of the Cat 4 is gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be a slower burn with Sharon, or do you think that could be the movie?
No, I don't think it's going to be Sharon. She'll be there. Maybe she's the one that's hiring the villain again. I don't think it's going to be Sharon though, as the main villain.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I don't think it's gonna be her.
I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like that would be kind of a boring movie, honestly, if she was. If she was the main villain.
I have no idea. Also, I don't know too many Cat villains. I've read a decent amount of Captain America, but I just don't know that many villains, and so they've done everyone I'd want to see. You know, I wanted to see Crossbones. We got Crossbones. I got Zemo.
You
think
barely
it's
got
gonna be an old
Crossbones.
one?
We got 2 movies with the Crossbones.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, like the guy.
Yeah, the guy.
He dead though.
He's dead. Do they change the name of the show to Cap and the Winter Soldier now? Or Captain
They did at the
America?
end.
They did?
It was in the
Yeah.
title card. Yeah.
I didn't recognize.
You're like just.
Well, what did it say?
Do you watch
It
the
said
subtitles?
It said
Captain America
and
and the
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
I don't watch the subtitles.
I know.
I can't.
I didn't watch the subtitles.
I know, but I'm like, it's a joke. Like Jesse's like, words on the screen.
Oh.
No, thank you.
Oh, was it at the end in the credits? The kids
No,
make
it was how it ended.
It was literally like pre. Yeah, it was
Like way before they even roll the credits.
the
they
kids
had-
make me fast forward to the end credit scene.
They had the crab pot, and then.
Avery can't handle it.
But it's
so.
literally.
It's how the crab pot ends.
Yeah, it's like them looking off into the sunset together, just like bros, and it just does Captain America and the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, like fades across, and then credits start. So, I'd be surprised if you had time to like just cut over that.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention because I was probably bitching about the entire end.
I'm so
It
surprised.
I
just
liked
stopped.
the crab pot.
Oh,
Cute.
yeah.
This looked like
It was-
a good
it
time.
was
I was
cute.
like,
It
I
was
want to
cute.
go.
I liked it.
That's how you
I would-
should end the show. That's been so great. You should end it cute at a crab boil.
They're allowed to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Bucky's gonna end up with Sam's sister though?
No.
I think so.
No.
No, but I did think that was fun.
I like it. I'm like, we didn't see them talking. Why? Because they weren't talking. They were making out in the back of the crab bake. That's my head canon.
Boil. It's a boil.
Crab boil.
Yep.
I don't know. I wasn't
boil them
invited.
crabs.
Gosh, now I'm hurt. Okay, I guess. I don't know. That's about as many questions I have. Ooh, there's a couple more actually. Number
Yeah,
one,
keep going. You had a whole list.
I went through my list.
Oh.
Number one, I was thinking, what do you think of this series? And this is, I didn't give you any prep time for this, so I apologize. What was the best fight scene of the entire series? Or like action sequence?
I really liked the scene in the in Zemo's apartment with John Walker and
and the
the
Wakanda.
ladies.
Oh, yeah.
And Sam and Bucky and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was just everybody
You're down
fighting.
with it.
It was a fun fight scene. It was done very well.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
That one was really good.
And that drove so much narratively. Like some fight scenes don't do that. That one definitely did.
So you can define fight scenes two different ways, like where they're actually fighting, or action sequences. Because I mean, Sam had some really good action sequences.
Yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
first one.
I said that, but I think that's what I mean too in this
Yeah.
answer as well.
Yeah.
You guys like the action sequences. I don't like those quite as much as I just like watching straight up fighting.
The first one was better than the first Sam action sequence at the beginning of the show was better than the last
On
one.
the helicopters?
Mhm.
I liked
Yeah.
I liked the helicopter scene a lot. That was like one of my favorite parts.
The first one.
of this episode
Oh
It-
no, the second one.
in the new cap suit.
Gotcha.
That sequence of episode 6 was awesome. But my favorite definitely is the first episode, which is like it's a bummer because you know what I mean you wanted to end stronger and they kind of came out really strong at the beginning.
Yeah, a great way to open a show.
Yeah.
Soft way to end it.
Yeah, but also I think in the second episode, the truck fight scene where it was in all the trailers. I just think when Sam gets like kicked off, but then his wings catch him like on the truck and he flies.
Yeah, like before he hits the ground.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the coolest thing ever, and I think that's just honorable mention.
I still like the one with Sharon outside the storage containers when she kills everybody. When they're all talking to the guy inside, and she's just killing everybody outside.
There was a lot of
That
good.
was sick. And when
action
Bucky
sequences.
when Zemo pretends to reactivate the Winter Soldier in the bar.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite by far. That whole scene was my favorite.
That was my favorite episode.
No, that was my next question. His favorite episode.
I
So
just like
yours
watching
is when they
people
go to
fight.
Madripoor?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Oh, that wasn't mine. I think. You know what's funny is honestly, Episode 4, I think, was my favorite. Which I don't know what I rated. I probably gave it a 4.5 or like a 4. It was
Which one's 4?
It wasn't. It was when John Walker murked the dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
yeah,
that
yeah.
all those fight sequences were really good. Narratively, it was super sound. We kind of saw his turn. You know, it's when he took the super soldier serum, and it's
Was
like,
that the same episode as the fight scene with the Wakandans?
Yeah.
That was the same episode,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's why he takes his super serum.
Yeah,
they
because
beat
he's
him.
like, they're not even super
Yeah,
soldiers,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
all pouty.
Yeah, I loved that. And then I think that's also the same episode where Sam had his first talk with Carly. And
It was.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And so all of those moments in that episode, super strong. And obviously I said I gave episode 5 a 5, but I think all of that leading action was really well done, and it led to episode 5 being so great, and rising action, like those kind of plot points, I really love.
But now that we're going through all of those, it is making me feel like this last one really was just not up to par with the rest of the series.
Okay, well then I guess we'll do this. We will rate this episode out of 5 like we always do, and then we'll go series wide.
Of rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this one will be out of 5. Hannah, oh my gosh, we've never heard you rate out of 5. This is exciting.
I like rating out of 5 too. You know why?
I like it better than 10.
Because
10's
10
too
is so
big.
many numbers.
Yeah,
so
it's too
like
big of a
8 and
number.
9 is an A. 9 and 10 is an A. Or like 8 to 10 is an A. And then like
9 to 10 is an A.
You know,
8's a B.
so 7 and 8's a B. And then 5 and 6 is a C. It's the same thing. Just do it on a small scale. I love you.
I'm not changing my
Karen's looking at me like, damn it, man.
Hey Jesse, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm not changing my rating scales.
No, we have 2. We have a 5 and a 10.
Yeah, for these ones. But I just mean like moving on with the show. I'm still doing out of 10. I'm like, some things change, some things remain the same.
This episode was a 3.5.
Wow.
Ooh, low.
Yeah, it wasn't a 4.
3.5. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought out of 10.
No, bro, the series. Holy shit!
I was like, whoa.
No, episode 6, 3.5.
Episode 6, 3.5 out of 5. Not. That's like a 7. So it's like a C. If you multiply it by 2 out of 10, that's a 7.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm just thinking. I'm like, but like, do you feel of it, or like, was it like a 3 on the low side, 3.5 on the low side?
No, I would have rated it a 3 if I wanted to go on the low side.
Silly me. I'm like, hey, I was really bad at math. So 3.5, really? Like, why though? Give me your bullet point.
Everything.
reasons.
Everything I
just
just
said.
talked about.
I'm like, just because the ending fell flat and
Yeah,
there's one
great
plot hole
action.
that
Because
you-
Sam saved Carly and Sharon.
That's what I was
Did he
about to-
save her? Is she dead?
Because
think
Sam carried Carly and not Sharon.
I think she's dead.
Even more reason just to leave her ass laying there. Then.
Damn, you're really not a fan of Carly.
Yeah, the episode started really hot, and then just came to like even the fight scene with Sam and Carly. She's like, "Fight me," and he's like, "No."
Oh, I kind of thought that was nice. That's cool. She was like,
And then
"Fight
Sharon
back."
just shot her in the back of the head. Man,
Yeah.
unsatisfying.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Hannah, what's your rating out of 5? So we have
4.
3.5, 4. 4. Why did you just didn't think the ending was as strong? Wow, I'm so.
What do you want it to
surprised.
be, a 5? Is it a 5 for you? It's
I
not a
really
5.
liked this episode.
Wow.
I can't give it a 5 because
I
I
won't give it
do
a 5.
feel like this is the thing, as I think they did wrap everything up, and it kind of was all like a nice, like I said, it was like wrapped up in a nice little bow, but it wasn't like a pretty bow. It was like a dull bow.
It was like me wrapping a package. Like I don't really know how to wrap a package, so it's
Yeah.
it's a present.
That's
It's
a
wrapped
good-
up, but man, it looks like shit.
Exactly. Like
Oh
I
my
felt like it was rushed, and I kind of wish they had spent more time in certain things, but I still really enjoyed it, and I watched it twice, and the second time I liked it just as much as the first time. And things did get answered. I mean, I think we got a lot of what we wanted, but like I said, it was just done. It was like, okay, that happened.
I don't know. Now I'm feel bad about my score. I'm not gonna give it a 5. I think I give it.
You shouldn't feel bad about any score.
I feel so bad.
Like
No.
you like things,
like-
score it accordingly.
like,
Don't let
we're-
us influence you.
We're also only gonna start rating everything on a scale of 5 because I feel bad about my scale now.
Yes, I've done my job here.
No, I think that I give it a 4.25 on this episode. Because I think the action sequences, like I loved all the Falcon flying or the Cap stuff, Cap flying around. I thought that was so cool.
Why all of a sudden they start calling him Black Falcon? He got called Black Falcon like 4 times. I'm like,
You missed that. That was a callback from another episode. When he's like walking through, like when they're walking to Isaiah's house, like the first time, some kid like is like, "Hey, that's Black Falcon," and he's like, "Just come black. You think I add black to?"
Yeah. And then Elijah says it again to him when he's at the door. He's like, "What's up, Black Falcon?"
Yeah, and then they make fun of him. Yeah. So that's what that was.
Okay, I got you.
And then so now you give it a higher score, maybe 3.
Because of that, for sure. It's a 3.579.
Great. Yeah, 4.25 because I really like the action sequences, and also I think that there were a lot, and maybe they didn't do all of these well, but with some of the plot points they opened up, I think they did a fairly good job of like closing them out. We saw the direction, like the new direction of Bucky and Sam's relationship, I think is really successful. Maybe that's more of a series review note. But I really like John Walker ended up where I wanted him to end up. Carly passed away. That's unfortunate.
Did she?
Oh my gosh.
But
Do you put dead bodies on a gurney?
And not only was she put on a
so.
gurney, they rushed her away. It wasn't like he just plopped her there and then she laid there dead. It was like he put her on the gurney and they shot her into an ambulance and they took off with her.
Oh.
You don't do that if somebody's not dead yet. No, wait. You do that if somebody's not dead. Other way around. You don't do that if someone's dead.
I don't know the procedure, guys. Okay, sorry, but I don't know. Carly's not around. I would say that.
I'm okay with her being. I did not dislike Carly at all.
She wasn't my favorite villain, but
Because she wasn't a villain.
I like how her. I like how her turn.
But you always say that your favorite villains are the ones who aren't like complete villains, are the ones that you sympathize with, and the ones that you understand.
I do sympathize.
And that's how
with,
I felt about her.
I do sympathize with her, but I think she's a very clear villain because oh my god, I feel so bad for my listeners. I get in this conversation every single time. With Lauren Vera too, but when they become villains when they have a principle they're going after, which is what we appreciate about her. But it's like when literally their line to get what they want crosses over to the part where people are starting to die.
Yeah, and that was when her team switched on her in that episode.
Yeah,
where she's like, "No, we'll just blow up the trucks," and they're like, "We're going to use them as hostages. They're like leverage."
Yeah,
and she's like, "One world or whatever, one world," and they were like, "I'm not saying it because you're a crazy ass."
Yeah.
And I feel bad that the rest of the team died when they were really morally better than she was. They weren't willing to kill people, and then Zemo just blows the whole truck up, dude.
Okay, then.
And he's like, "Ha ha ha."
Yeah, I like the little cheese moments where they're like, "That's not Falcon, that's Captain America." I'm like, yeah, I like that. I was like, yeah, it is. And so in my head, okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't hate that either.
Series wide, what do we give it, Jesse? Out of 10. I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. The last episode had to have taken my score down because I would normally have given it a 9.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna have to be an 8.5 because of that last episode. Well, 8. Yeah, I mean that's.
Do you think?
Laws of average.
Do you think? Like, do you like the 6-episode series as opposed to the 10? Because I think I liked this more than WandaVision.
Yeah, give me an hour episode.
Yeah.
Instead of like 10, 30-minute episodes.
I think it lended itself better to this, and I'm excited for Loki because that's going to be the case.
Yes.
Okay, so there's your. You said
8.5. That's
8.5.
great.
Not
it was
a bad
great.
score. Not a bad score.
B plus.
Hannah.
9.3.
Wow, that's a big score.
It is a big score.
Not that I'm one to talk and give everything a 10. I almost gave it
I would have given it a 10 if I liked the finale better.
That's perfect.
I liked every single episode. I had no issues with anything that happened.
That's
I'm nicer
good.
than you guys.
You're nice. Yeah, no, I think I give it like a 8.75 because it was good. Like it was good, but also like you know what I really want from a series like this? They set up stuff for a slow burn, but I kind of wanted more bombastic stuff. Like I wanted a new character in the MCU, and I really kind of didn't. I wanted a new hero. Like we got.
Well, but they set you up for more new heroes.
I said they did. Like I said, yeah, they did. But it's like I want. Give me just like another hero. Like that's kind of their. We got Agatha and the twins in the last one, and I'm like,
Agatha's not a hero.
Agatha's not. She's not a hero, but like I mean, like we got a fairly new character.
Right.
We got John Walker, but I mean, like, I'm like, I just don't see the ramifications of this on the universe. Maybe with Valentina, but I'm not. I didn't love that. Like, that's not a character I love. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. You didn't get someone that you were like really wishing for.
yeah, like they give us Evan Peters Quicksilver. Like, I'm air quotes, but it's like they nodded to something like that. And I'm like, I want something bigger. Like, just give me like drop. I don't know. Get Red Skull show up at the end, and I'd be like, whoa.
But how would he have gotten out of that place?
But it would just be a different Red Skull. You know what I mean? His consciousness and the cosmic cube, blah, 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 comic books.
Comic books.
They just put Zemo's butler putting on a mask. That's the Red Skull mask. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I need some, give me Bullseye, whatever it be.
Oh, you know what was terrible was that fake mask thing that Sharon had on. That she like unprogrammed or whatever she did.
No,
I was like,
she
that was
pulled it off. It was
dumb.
That's for Mission Impossible.
It was stupid.
Hannah's not a fan.
She was in Mission Impossible.
In that
wasn't she?
case,
That actress?
I don't know.
Could be.
I just make.
you know
stuff
what
up.
you guys didn't realize either, and I thought it was so funny, is Isaiah Bradley. We were talking about double agents, and I know Isaiah Bradley's character or the actor because he plays Director Dixon in Alias, and that whole thing is like a double agent show. And as soon as he came on, I heard his voice, and I was like, that's freaking Director Dixon. And it made me so happy because I loved him in that show because I loved Alias, but most people didn't love Alias.
So, since you know him as an actor, did they make him look older than he actually is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I mean, he's older now.
yeah, I
'cause
know, but
he was
in,
old
like,
in
his
Alias.
wrinkles that
But they
put
gave
on,
him those like the
You can tell it's makeup.
Yeah.
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 I guess we did get Elijah. Oh, we also,
That's what I was trying to say. Was you got Elijah?
Yeah, but it's still not. Elijah isn't that big of a deal. Like, the twins, I guess, were, but I need something like Agatha's drop. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. We didn't get that in this series. And that's, to the one, and maybe they gave us a little bit more redemption of Sharon Carter. We did get the John Walker arc. I don't want to overlook that. He was great.
We got Sharon Carter back.
Elijah was great. Yeah, we got Sharon Carter. Exactly. I'm like, cool. But I don't know. I just needed one more big, like, nothing in this series, like, there was no bomb drop. Like, what? Like, the MCU does.
Would you have been happy with a cameo from somebody you already knew?
Yes. Don Cheadle was in it, but
He could have shown up again.
Yeah, I'm like,
Quite a bit of cameos though.
it was a lot of cameos, but I just mean like someone we know.
Especially like, I mean, I know you wanted to give Sam the run at like being the black hero, but like Cheeto could have showed up. He's the other black dude.
Well, he's getting his own series.
I understand.
Yeah.
But he could have like, it
Where's
could have been a
Hawkeye?
whole thing.
Yeah, where's like another, like, I don't know. I don't know who they could possibly use, but that's not my job. I wanted something a little bit more, but it was a good series nonetheless.
It was a great series.
Overall,
it was
yeah.
great.
Overall,
It was better than good. Great.
Sorry.
You keep saying good.
It's my opinion.
It was great.
I didn't give it a 9.
It doesn't have... 9's like fantastic.
Oh, I think it
8 is great. 7 is good.
I don't know. Well,
I mean, you guys rated every episode between a 4 to a 5, which would
not
It was
true.
great.
average out to
I did.
well up until this last
Yeah,
one.
it was
Yeah.
great.
I'm like,
I feel like that averages to like a solid 8 or 9 if you're doing a full series at the end.
do you think? Okay, last question because we're going over. But do you think that something like this show, and I think I start to feel this way, is bogged down by the weekly release schedule?
No.
Really?
What do you
Okay.
mean?
Because it's being released weekly, do you think that it is? The time that it took us to get to this conclusion, and the conclusion kind of let us down. Do you think that was a factor in it, like the delay?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I think I kind of feel that way. But also, I love the fact that they like make us wait a week for the Cap Falcon suit. You know what I mean? I'm glad they didn't show it to us. I like that reveal.
I just feel like it could have ended better with him like being Captain America as like the end instead of the beginning. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. On to the next thing.
Can't make everybody happy.
Loki starts in like what, 3 weeks?
Must be 3 weeks.
I thought it was June.
June 11th.
Oh, it's June. Just kidding.
That's like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks, honestly, but that's okay with me because I'm a little sleepy tired. And we have so many other things to go through, so stay tuned for next week. We're going to be doing an Invincible Season 1 review. So excited, and frankly, that show's a 10 in my book already. I'll just spoil that for you. It is wonderful. I'm so excited. We're going to have a special guest for that one.
I got to go watch it.
Yeah, Jesse doesn't...
Are you the guest?
No.
I'm gonna have 3 people
I'm the
on.
guy. The other guy.
Oh.
There's more than
I
one
know who
guest.
the other one is then. Okay.
Okay.
But we read that book. That's why
We read the
that.
book.
Yeah.
Jesse's going to come in. chit chat about it. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the first ever 3-person Cameron Reads Comics. Big shout out to Phil's Coffee because that's what made me a little more spry this morning. I don't know if you guys felt that. No, maybe.
No, dude, you're the same guy.
No, he was way better than he has been.
That's because I had 2 guests carrying me. So. Anyways, we will see you later. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as leave us rating and review on iTunes, and make sure you clobber that like and subscribe button. If you're listening on YouTube, we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.